Debbie, in terms of someone doing the minutes, do you want me to start that or
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead. You can do so. Thanks.
okay?
Okay, good evening, everyone. It is now 7:10 p.m. We will start the monthly meeting of the CB9 Environmental Protection Committee. My name is Debbie Timothy, and I will be sharing this meeting. Good evening to everyone. Good evening to the members of this committee. I hope you guys had a great summer and look forward to having some great conversations on our community-wide issues and see how we can get some of those issues resolved. So our next issue up on the agenda is or words of encouragement by Bishop Hamilton Gonzalez. Are you on board, Bishop? Bishop?
She is connected to audio.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Bishop, are you there?
Let me try to contact her again.
Okay, thank you. So in the meantime, we can did everyone receive the minutes in the agenda for tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we can go ahead and start with our introductions until Bishop is connected. Apparently she's on there, but maybe having some minor issues with her connection. I'm not sure what's going on. So again, my name is Debbie Timothy, and I am the chair of the CB9 Environmental Protection Committee. Mr. Herbert, you can go ahead and.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Rod Herbert. I've been in the community since 1966. I am a new board member. Thanks to Miss Debbie Timothy, I was encouraged to become a part of the community board. and I'm happy to be here. Thank you,
Thank
Debbie.
you. Miss Westerdahl? Teresa, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was trying to finish something up.
Okay, so yeah, so we are doing introductions in the meantime while we're waiting for Bishop Gonzalez to connect.
Okay. For words of encouragement, she's coming. I think you all know me. My name's Teresa Westerdahl. I'm a homeowner. I live on in Crown Heights on Sullivan. And I've served on the board for 2 years, and on this committee, this will be my third year. And I've worked on a few projects within the Environmental Protection Committee, including the grant that we got for the garden that we planted and had to move last year. That was pretty exciting. And I have quite a few environmental interests that I'm hoping we can work on this year.
Thank you. Ethan? I don't know if we know who you are, however, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm not sure if you're a board member or just joining us. Just joining our committee tonight, so you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hi, Debbie. I'm glad to introduce myself again with you guys. Yeah, I'm a new board member. Joined this year, a few months ago.
We can barely hear you.
Oh, okay, 1 second. Let me just adjust my
Thank you.
audio for a bit. Yeah, 1 minute. Oops.
I can hear.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm Ethan Norville. New board member, joined a few months ago, I believe around May of this year. And I'm basically sitting in on this one just to, see what the EB committee is going to be up to this year.
I'm sorry, but what is your
Also,
last name?
Norville, Ethan Norville.
What is that?
Norville. I guess. I'm
Nor-
actually on video here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yep. You're welcome.
We are trying to connect with one of the committee members. I'm not sure what's going on there. Bishop, are you on?
Wasn't able to reach her. I
You
can,
weren't?
no.
Let me just see if I can connect with her on this end. Just give me a few minutes, please. Okay, so the phone is ringing. I left a message. I don't know. So we are just gonna move on with the agenda. And so we pretty much did introductions and roll call at the same time. Is there any old business, outstanding issues, or any updates that anyone has that they would like to share at this time?
Hello, Debbie.
Yes.
I'm
Hi.
so sorry.
Hi,
I
how
am
are
so
you?
sorry to the whole committee, the whole team. School opened today for us. So I have 10 hats that I'm wearing. So they set me up for the meeting, but I was in the next meeting. So my phone is in one room and I'm in the next. So here I am. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we're gonna allow you to do your words of encouragement, and you can introduce yourself and do your words of encouragement because we've done so already.
So I'm just thanking the Almighty Creator that we survived the hot weather of the summer, and that we are all healthy and looking good, as I can see from our group here. So I believe we have some favor with God, that while our country is swimming in the morass of having a democratic nation, we thought it not robbery to continue our journey to ensure that there is some kind of environmental justice, at least in our community. So I want to thank God that, you know, we have that strength to move on, and that we didn't accomplish in the first year, that in this year, we are going to try our best to ensure that we answer the questions that our community have posed to us, and then make an assessment of what we believe can help to save us, because the waters and the hurricane that just destroyed Florida was enough water to bathe in. So the environment has its own suffering that is going on. And I just want to thank God that we have decided that we will continue in this tapestry of faith in God to continue to make sure we take care of the planet the best way that we can. So it is, and so it shall be. To God be the glory. Amen.
Thank you for those
Amen.
words, Bishop. Thank you and
God
welcome.
bless you.
Yes, thank you. So we're gonna move, as I mentioned before, old business. Whether anyone had any outstanding issues or updates that they would like to provide, we would do so at this time.
So I have something that I would like to mention. I'm not sure if it's old or if it's, well, I guess it's ongoing business with some
Okay,
new connotations to it.
okay,
All right, so earlier today, I live on Troy Avenue, just off of Winthrop Street. And earlier today, there was a meeting with the community members, and we met up with station News 12 with regards to voice our objections or opinions, strong opinions with regards to the vital Brooklyn project that's going on. We have concerns with regards to the the parking that would be severely affected, trash panhandling that's going on that would be even greater, and just overall services. And right now we're waiting for the environmental impact statement so that we can make our comments with regards to the project. And we're just looking to be heard. And that happened earlier today. So it'll be broadcasted today on News 12 at 10:30 p.m. today. So you could take a look at it. We're hoping that we get more people involved to voice their opinion on this project, and make sure that we take a look at the safety and overall environmental impact that it will have within the neighborhood.
Was the board made
Mr.
aware of the event that took place today?
I believe the board, a note was sent to the board by one of the members who coordinated the meeting with the news. So yes, that was
Okay.
sent by email. They were CC'd on the email. And
Mr. Herbert, can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
just give me a little idea of what is it entailing? I'm not sure. Is it about the environment, or is it about? I'm not sure what it is.
All right, so this is the Vital, well, let's just take the Kingsborough program, the Vital Brooklyn project. What they're looking to do is to build a total of 9 buildings within the Kingsborough Psychiatric Center. They're looking to build complexes between the East 46th Street going to Albany Avenue, and that is between Winthrop and Clarkson.
Okay.
And they're going to be separate buildings there for affordable housing, homeless shelters, a MICA shelter, for mentally challenged individuals, transitional housing, supportive housing, and so forth. So we had some major concerns about how that would impact the surrounding environment, the surrounding area, as far as sewers, utilities, parking, trash, and right now we have seen and observed that overall services for the community, they are not top notch when it comes to trash removal, cleaning of the streets. And we are not sure how, or no one has even spoken to us on how existing services will be improved or how they're going to handle the flow of all of these individuals that be coming on board. There's supposed to be a total of 991 beds throughout the entire complex. And with on Troy Avenue, which I'm located on Troy Avenue, we've had a lot of flooding in basements from just rain. And like I said, I've been here for a long time, 57 years, and it has never been this bad from what I can recall. The city is performing a project where they're looking to expand the capacity of sewers by installing, I'd say, sidewalk vaults with additional capacity in order to hold the water. But we do not believe that they have involved this major project in their calculations. And so we want to basically talk to someone to know about this project, the design, how the infrastructure will be affected, so that we can make our comments and move forward.
Is there a direct contact for this project that you guys have, or?
So we have been trying to get in a meeting with Brian Cunningham, who's a state assemblyman.
Okay.
Who is in charge with, who has a lot to say with regards to the project, and who does have ties with the, not ties, but has a relationship or knows the developers. And we're looking for a town hall in order so we can get information on the project.
Okay.
So that we can have a deep-rooted understanding of all of the concerns in the neighborhood, of how this would affect.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Herbert. I didn't have much information on that, but I think it's clear to me that what is happening there needs a strict attention in terms of not only sewer, but I don't know if we understand. My mother has a home on Schenectady between Church and Snyder. And the houses over there, the back of them are like going down,
Wow.
Sinking. Yes. I mean, it's what happens with old houses, but these are things that we have to deal with also, even now, when we're trying to put up other structures that is going to put more pressure on what we might be living on swamp land for all we know.
So true. So
I
true.
believe that. I
Well,
believe that.
in the neighborhood, there is a high water table within CB9. I'm not sure it's over in that direction. I think that's CB17. I could be incorrect, but we are living within a high water table. So we have to understand how all of that, affect us, especially on the construction.
So
Yeah.
maybe what we can do is reach out to Borough Hall and have oh my God, the engineer over there that oversees the map for this borough come out and do a presentation for this area so that they can, let us know what, we should be looking for. I mean, I think it's important at this point, if this is, about, land issues and water and stuff like that. I think
And
it would be good
sewage.
to, yeah,
And sewage.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
lot of things. This project for the environmental side, it involves a lot of different things. There are a lot of moving parts, right?
Yes.
There's the like I said, the parking, there's
Right.
especially the trash, the sewers, the overall infrastructure. It's a lot of moving parts there. And that's why having a discussion with the developer, within the town hall and along with Brian Cunningham, just to get a good understanding of what is actually going to take place. And also, if they have the drawings, I would love to see the architectural drawings just to take a look at them to see what is being constructed. And also, what did they find underneath? Because they had to do test pits and soil borings in order to determine the stability of the earth, the ground, and what else is down there.
Yeah.
But
So
Miss,
Go ahead.
1 minute, Deb, Mr. Herbert,
Yes, ma'am.
is that land, does that land belong to the city, or did they sell it to the developer? What's on that?
Right now, that is state land. It's not city
Okay.
land. Right now, it is state land.
And the state is aware and has chosen this developer. I'm so far behind on this. I'm so sorry. That's why I'm asking.
No, that's okay. But right now, the community, we really don't have all of the information that we are seeking.
Got it.
We're getting drips and
Got it.
drabs.
Got it.
And, we feel that we need to have a meeting at town hall in order to understand, what are the total plans? What is the phase of construction? All right. And also, we have concerns with regards to the amount of people that will be placed in already a densely populated area. And there's going to be a lot of people. And, we just have to understand, what is this project? How is it going to be handled? What's the time frame of construction? And also, if we can have input, which is very, very important. All right, we just don't want all of this dumped onto us, and then we have to handle all of the issues afterward.
Yeah.
And these are only issues right now that I'm thinking of. I'm sure others will come about, and there are others that thought of other stuff, but these are the things that I thought of right off the bat.
Yes. So the letter that was sent to whom?
The
I know you
email.
said the board was CC'd on it. So the letter
this
was sent to whom?
So this was an email that was sent to the community board advising of the, one was advising of the meeting today with News 12.
Right.
Also, there have been other communications. I wasn't on most of these emails, but there are other communications with the community board that we were seeking to have a discussion with Brian Cunningham so that we can understand his point of view of the meeting, and he can share his thoughts, what he knows of the construction. All right, he can have the developers come in, and also we can review some of the concerns on the environmental end and other ends, of course, but primarily on the environmental end, how it's going to affect the area.
Right.
That's what we're
And
looking.
so none of the information was directed directly to the assembly member?
To my knowledge, I'm not sure of that. I do know
Okay,
that
so
there
that
were-
would be that would be the first thing to do. I mean,
Mhm.
even if the community board is CC'd, you know, it should be directed to him because you're saying that he knows the developer and, you know, would have a lot of information to share. So
Right.
we want to make sure that this, you know, letter goes directly to him or email goes to him so that, you know, he can, you know, follow up and, you know, let us know exactly what's going on as well as the people that is, you know, behind this trying to find out, you know, more information. That would be helpful.
Exactly.
Because
So
I
we
mean,
did,
I don't understand, again, projects are happening in the community. A lot of us are not aware of it. I don't know how much information the board has on that. That would be something that we would want to, you know, learn about as well. But it's important that information is, you know, flowing and people are aware of what's going on and not, and like you say, have to deal with, you know, the things that come up after this is all in place. You know,
so I do know that we did schedule, a meeting was scheduled with his office in
Okay.
order to meet up, but the meeting was canceled on the office of Brian Cunningham's part. All right,
Do you know
and
how
it,
long ago that meeting was scheduled?
oh, this meeting, the meeting was scheduled, it was supposed to take place, I want to say last week, if my memory is correct, last week, but it was
Okay.
canceled. And it was scheduled pretty hastily on the part of Brian Cunningham's office. But then we did rally troops to get together, and then on the day of the meeting, well, just before, the night before the meeting, it was canceled. We got the notification it was canceled. We had to notify everybody that the meeting is not going to take place. So that didn't rub people the right way. And
So his office canceled the meeting?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, and there was no, you know, information provided about another date?
None. And we are contacting his office in order to schedule a date, because now what happened because of that meeting that was canceled, let's just say the bees in the hive are really starting to buzz right now.
Yeah,
So, that's one of the reasons why people were upset. News 12 was called,
Right.
and everybody voiced their opinions, to the news. So, since, hey, Brian Cunningham, you're not going to meet, well, we'll get your attention. And that's what happened.
Yeah, so maybe there needs to be a, what do you call it? To start the word is at the tip of my tongue and it's not coming out. You know, not a protest, but you know, like if
So
we
we're,
can
we're-
get a
Yeah,
bunch of names, you know, like just people to sign on,
on a
you know,
petition.
so that, yeah, petition, yeah,
Resolution.
yeah.
So we're going to still work to meet with him. All right, we're still calling his office. All right, we're still want this meeting to take place.
Okay.
We're not going away. There are a lot of people that want to be heard. There are people that want to
Absolutely.
know exactly what's going on. And I have to say that the cancellation of the meeting, for whatever reason it was, nobody really knows why, it really didn't go over well with the community. And
Well, they should inform people as to why the meeting is canceled.
absolutely. And that was
Absolutely, yeah.
not disseminated. Yeah, that was not
Okay, so,
disseminated.
you know, something is, you know, not right about that happening that way. I mean, you know, you should always let people know, you know, why something was canceled because, you know, it leaves it in a situation where, you know, you're thinking, well, you know, what's going on here? Is there something, you know, to hide, you know, and that shouldn't be the case, you know? So, it would be good to learn more about what's taking place, you know, with that particular meeting and the upcoming development. So, you know, everyone is aware of what's going on.
Right. So
So-
we'll keep trying. We'll
Okay,
work with the board office in order to, see what we can do and work at his office directly in order to
Yes.
schedule another meeting.
Okay, so, and Khalid, if you can, keep that information,
Yes, I've written it down, and Mr. Herbert, if you could follow up with me tomorrow on that.
yeah, so
Roger
that,
that, sir.
we can, at least get an idea as to what's taking place and why, the meeting was canceled. If, that information, if the board has that information as well. So, Mr. Herbert, thank you for bringing that up, something that we need to pay close attention to. And try to, get involved in what's going on in the community, as
Right.
well. Is there anyone else with any additional information that,
Well, I would just like to ask Mr. Herbert about what do you think it is that we could do as Environmental Protection Committee? Is there some type of resolution that we could write up and present to the board?
Yes.
I mean, what could we
I-
do? Let's make some moves.
So, as far as a resolution, or so I'm new to all of this stuff here, so you'll probably have to hold my hand and walk me through it all. All right. So one of the things that we need to do as far as a resolution, like I said, I guess vote no until we get the information. I mean, we have to basically say that this project is not really required unless they talk to the community. I'm stumbling on this a little bit. I'm not sure. So I
well,
have to think about it and get back to you.
I think, as you said, Mr. Herbert, we still have to get more information on what's going on before, we can come to a conclusion or resolution that this is what should take place. So once that's in place, then, we can, determine that based on what's taking place and how quickly it's happening, to, get more information or to before, the board or whomever, whether the board needs to vote on it or, so, it would be
Well,
good.
our role as a community board, as a committee, is merely advisory. So I've noticed that other community boards and committees present resolutions rather quickly, and it's usually pretty simple, and they go forward pretty easily. And it would be great if we could get better at that. I know we, went through some pains with the 5G in our last environmental protection committee session, and it was well received and by the community, addressing their concerns. And I think this is similar, and we should really, make a motion for a resolution to suspend development until we get more information. I mean, we can make a resolution to stop, right? Until we get more information. Basically, we could make a resolution for exactly what Debbie's asking for, more information.
That would be
Well,
ideal.
I would prefer that we get more information than Mr. Herbert has right now before we come to that conclusion. Because right now I still don't have more information to connect the dots. So that would be good to know who is the key person and what was sent and, who is addressing it. And, so there's a lot of questions that needs to be answered before a resolution can be put in place. So that we can, have all the who, what, when, why, and how all these things answered, and then determine, what would be the best way to move forward on that. And that's my take on that.
So I do have here a presentation to the Community Board 9 Housing Committee that's dated January 9th of 2023. So
Uh-huh.
we have to talk
Yeah, I
with
remember
them.
that. I was at
Yeah.
that meeting.
Yeah,
You said it's
so
January 9th?
January 9th of 2023. This is before I came onto the board and really got involved with what was going on. So, a lot of
And that,
information was given there, and I understand
and
there was
that has to
some.
do with this project?
Oh, yes, yes, a
So
presentation
that
was
means that
given.
we need to connect with the chair of the housing committee to maybe
Mhm.
give us some more information on what they have. And,
No,
see-
the housing committee, there's a new chair there and they have no notes. They did not post
Hmm.
any, I believe just 1 month of notes for the last board session. So it's really difficult to get any meaningful information from them. Although I do know Jay has come to us
Mhm.
and has presented about this project numerous times over the past year. So there's plenty of information out there. There's websites. We were given an entire, I guess, like a portfolio about this project. So the information is out there. I've seen it and it's been given to us already. You
okay,
just
so
have to
if the
read it.
housing committee has information on that
No,
project,
the whole board has been given it. The Vital Brooklyn project, it's out there. We have it. You just have
okay,
to read it.
so then we can follow up.
Jay, I see Jay Sword there.
Yeah.
Jay,
Okay, can I finish speaking, please? Thank you. So
sure.
if the housing committee has information on this, then I guess we can find out more from whoever is chairing the meeting or who chaired the meeting before. I'm sure that Beverly probably has information that she can provide us with. So
No,
that we at least have something to,
that's
move on with.
banging on the wrong door. The information is already out there. Asking Beverly for it
Okay, it
is
would be
like,
right to ask Beverly because she was chairing the meeting. I think that that's the best thing to do, as opposed to
There-
just going around, yeah. So,
well, I can look right now and see that the notes for the meeting, the minutes, how you're supposed to provide minutes for the meeting. The housing committee didn't really have minutes.
okay, so we're gonna move on with this meeting. We'll follow up on that, I guess, at some point during now in the next meeting, to find out what's available and what's, what we can, how we can best, get involved in that, issue. But I think it's important that we reach out to, the former, housing chair to find out, and I'm surprised that there are no minutes, but, we can
Well, they
follow up on
did,
that as well.
I
Khalid?
contacted the board. Sorry, I
Khalid, are you
contacted the
aware?
board. I
Khalid?
Yeah,
contacted the
so in
board.
terms of,
Go ahead, Khalid.
Hello?
okay, so in terms of the minutes for housing, there are no minutes because there was no meeting. We
There
can't,
were
we
meetings.
couldn't make, if you could just tell me what days they met, because we put the meetings on the website and they didn't meet. There's no
Exactly.
recordings. They didn't meet. They did not meet. So I have no recordings of that. So to make no minutes, even if there's no secretary, recording secretary, no one was able to make minutes. So in terms of that, it was just no meeting. So there's no minutes. Thank you.
Okay, so the information that Mr. Herbert has,
The
that from January,
Vital Brooklyn, there is Vital Brooklyn information
yeah,
on the website, on their website. And when Doug came to the last, Doug McPherson and I believe Angel Santana came to the last meeting for housing, they explained part of the Vital Brooklyn project, and there are minutes for those. But in terms of meetings in the prior months, nobody met officially with the board, so there's no official meeting minutes to be recorded.
Well, just to make a quick correction, for 2023, there was a meeting in January, February, May, and June, because I see an agenda. Right, no, February, no meeting, but 5 of the 10 meetings from housing were canceled. So there were actually 5 meetings in the last period, but there were no minutes for that period before, but I did contact and I spoke to Khalid about it. And I sent a couple of emails because I was actually looking for the meeting minutes from housing because I was thinking of applying to be on that committee, but I couldn't find any minutes. So I wanted to let them know that there weren't any. And I do see that now they did post one set of meeting minutes in the last like week or so for just May 2023. There's now minutes. So I
The
mean, we're
agendas
just
are there. If you
we're
just let
just
me,
kind of going in circles here. And the point is that I don't think we're going to get this information from housing. It should be in their minutes. It's not, but it's all out there. It's all out there already. So
Okay,
I'd
so
rather
we
not
will,
go in
Excuse me, Debbie?
circles.
we will refer back to that, but for right now, we need to move forward with this meeting. We can follow up on the housing committee minutes at some other time. Because I don't know why there's no minutes, but I guess if Khalid said there's been no meetings, and there's a chair, the chair was in place, Khalid?
yes. So Debbie, the agenda is out. So the agendas go out before the meeting happens, so people are informed.
Uh-huh,
If there is no meeting, there's still going to be agenda. Doesn't mean that it's going to reflect that a meeting happened. The meetings are
Okay.
paired with, the agenda is usually paired with meeting minutes, which they didn't meet in those certain months. So there's no meeting minutes. Teresa, if you could
Was there
check
a
in with the
reason
board
for
of the
that?
meeting. I'm sorry.
Was there a reason for that?
The chair didn't contact the board. I don't know her reasoning, but I wasn't able to start the meeting because there was nobody to join the meeting, committee chair.
Okay, so we're not gonna argue back and forth about the housing committee minutes. I have a meeting to chair tonight, and I would like to focus on moving this meeting forward. I see Jay has his hand up. Jay, you can go ahead and make your comments.
Hi, thank you, Ms. Timothy. I'm a former member of the Housing Committee, so hopefully I could shed a little light to your answer on that. Piggybacking on what Tara said, 5 of the 10 housing meetings were canceled. One was adjourned, so they actually had like 6 of them. Of the 6, there were presentations, so that's a reason why maybe there wasn't a lot, because we only had 6 and there were like a couple presentations. All of the info for all of the meetings is actually on the website, and it's actually on there's a community group called Say No to Less. So I can give you the website and you could find every housing presentation that came to Community Board 9 on all of these projects by going to www.saynotoless.com. And you'll see 681 Clarkson, you'll see every bit of information. You'll see the meeting that happened, you'll see the video, you'll see all the environmentals and everything else there. So I agree with you that we need more information. As far as the Environmental Protection Committee, the status officially right now for 681 Clarkson is there is an environmental impact statement that New York State is working on. And many times what they're going to study the different environmental impacts of it. So what may be helpful is that they share, because it's a New York State project. So New York State's doing the environmental analysis. So New York State should share everything that they have in terms of what the studies are. I mean, I remember on one of the other New York's, and it's not just 681 Clarkson, as far as the environmental aspect goes, like Utica Crescent, which is where Kingsbrook Jewish is. They're building over there. That's another vital Brooklyn project. So there's an environmental aspect of it that has to deal with like the traffic, you know. So I know Mr. Herbert asked a question at the meeting, at the presentation for another one of the vital Brooklyn projects, in which he said, what about the traffic by Rutland? And the response of New York State was that, well, we did a study. And then I remember Mr. Herbert saying, can we see it? I don't know if Mr. Herbert received a copy of it, but I requested New York State, we haven't got it. So just to tell you, I know, Ms. Timothy, that, you know, there's different committees that, you know, like transportation, it's a transportation issue, housing, it's a housing issue. I think because it's environmental protection, I think it's almost like there's concurrent jurisdiction, like there's both committees have a say in it, because it's environmental protection, there's an environmental aspect of it. So I think that's why this committee, you know, has like jurisdiction as a part of it, can oversee it. And in terms of what you were saying, I agree with you, Ms. Timothy, that we definitely need more like information, maybe
So
before
maybe
like
we can
coming.
get the state to come and do a presentation
That's it,
and
you got it.
Mhm.
That's
so
it.
people can
That's it,
ask
you got it.
questions.
That's it.
So
that
I
you-
will, so Khalid, can you,
Sure.
Maybe by a motion, if somebody maybe, you know, would say like a motion for like a present, like almost like either a presentation or even like a town hall meeting where the state comes, they give an update on what's going on, exactly as what you said, and we can, and with that, we can invite Senator Assemblyman Cunningham, he's the New York State Assemblyman. We could invite
well, I think
Myrie.
we need to reach out to his office, as Jay said, that which is what they're trying to do, and then we can take it from there.
Yeah, but that's a great suggestion on having the state come in
Yes.
for a presentation, inviting them. And
Okay,
it
so-
may be like, I guess by a motion or something, like somebody has a request for, like a motion for New York State to come in and give a presentation or something like
Okay, so
that.
once Mr. Herbert gives us an update on where they are with Mr. Cunningham's office, I guess we can, you know, give input because the board was CC'd, according to what he said on the email that was sent. So hopefully, the person that is in direct contact with Mr. Cunningham will provide us with more information as, you know, they receive it in terms of scheduling a meeting and trying to move this forward as quickly as possible before, you know, it's a done deal and, you know, nothing else can be said or done about it. It's important that the
so this-
community has input in these
we-
developments that's going on.
right.
in the
Would we make that request now and say, hey, a request, the Community Board 9 request that the state, like a resolution by the committee, which could then subsequently go to the board, saying a request for a meeting where we bring in New York State, it would actually be New York State, Empire State
Mr.
Development.
Mr. Sorid, I just said, Mr. Herbert and his
Yes.
team or group has reached out to Mr. Cunningham's office and is waiting for feedback in terms of a meeting, which was canceled. They had a date and it was canceled. So hopefully they would be able to get another date as soon as possible. Since he knows about this development and, you know, would be
Right,
able to
right.
provide more
He-
information.
I've been, right, well, the meeting that was scheduled that Mr. Herbert had, that was a meeting with the community and Cunningham, okay?
Right.
What you said was important in terms of getting information. New York State is something separate. They should come in and give specifics. and we
Okay,
shouldn't
so
just-
let
we
us,
shouldn't
let
wait-
us,
We shouldn't
okay,
wait,
so allow
Why
the
wait 30
community
days?
to do what they're doing.
right?
And then we can take it up a notch. If nothing is done on, you know, the community level, then we need to take it up a notch. And that's
But the
all I'm
community-
saying.
Yeah, but the community can't do anything unless New York State comes. Why not? Why would we wait 30 days and play a delay game when we could
So
make a
Mr.
motion and
Cunningham,
ask them?
are you saying that Mr. Cunningham is not, you know, on the state
Yeah,
level?
yeah, Mr. Cunningham is not on the environmental committee. He's not part of New York State Empire State Development. He's not doing these surveys and these studies. We're going to waste 30 days. We should ask New York State to come. Assemblyman Cunningham is not part of New York State Empire State Development. He doesn't have that information. We're talking
Okay,
about New York
so-
State
so-
Empire
so,
State
okay, let
Development
me
coming
just-
here.
But Debbie,
Let's just, wait a minute, let's just, because all of this stuff came up into this meeting like the
Correct.
5G did, and I'm not going to allow this to happen this time, okay? Because you guys knew about this before now, and there is an
Well-
agenda in place for this meeting. Okay, so if there is something or a specific topic about something that's happening that hasn't been brought before the board and has not been discussed, because we do have the land use committee. We have other committees that, you know, should probably be playing a role in there as well. And it appears as though, I mean, everything comes here. I mean, maybe
Right.
I'm doing a good job chairing the meeting, but at the same time, I do have an agenda in place, and that is what I want to go by. If there is something that you guys need to discuss, specifically, you need to bring it to the board office. Okay, and let the chair make a determination on that.
But that has to come from a committee. And the
Okay,
environmental committee has
so-
just as much of a responsibility as the land use has and the housing is. We can't play past the buck. The
Okay,
environmental
so,
protection committee.
well, all I'm saying
Okay.
is, if you have
Okay.
a topic that you would like to bring to the board, you should take it to the board office, the district manager, and, you know, say exactly what it is that you would like to see happen
Right.
with this, and
Okay.
let the chair make a determination.
It has to
Okay,
come
but
from a
in the
committee first,
meantime-
from a committee.
In the
It has to come from a
meantime,
committee first. Okay.
let him
Okay, thank you.
decide which committee would be handling it. Thank you.
Hello?
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Hello?
Westerdahl, before I move forward.
Hi, I
Ms.
would like
Westerdahl, go ahead.
to, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, I would like to make a motion for a resolution for New York State and Empire State Development to do a town hall presentation on Vital Brooklyn to CB9. Would anybody care to second my motion?
Before we
I
do
would
that,
not, because I don't know what it's all about.
be-
Okay,
before
I'm
we do
trying to
that,
find out what it's all about, and, you know, as Mr. Herbert said, they're waiting for information. I need to get more clarification.
Would anybody care to second my motion?
as what I wanted to say, that to
ASL
the
for a
community,
second, please.
okay.
I would like to second that motion.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sorry.
So the motion is passed. Correct?
How is
Can I
it
get a
passed?
second?
Did nobody voted?
All right, let's vote.
So there's 4 people on here, so,
And so, but before, well, maybe I'm out of place to say, to do this, Tara, but we have a tree with many roots. And this whole situation with the environmental committee is a part of a root of a big tree. So I understand what
Yes,
Mr.
exactly.
Herbert is saying. I do understand what Mr. Jay is saying, and I understand Debbie's position. We are not the tree, we are the root.
that's
And
right.
so
We
what
are
Debbie is
one of the
asking
branches,
is
not the,
one of the roots is what we
Yeah.
need to focus on now, and then the roots can get together so we can sustain the growth of the tree. But when we try to step into other people's vineyard like that, I think it would be offensive. I think we're pushing to get something done that really is a part of what we want to see, but it's not our authority. It needs to
There-
come from the board.
there you
Would,
go.
respectfully, I'd like to add that we're just asking for a presentation. We're not actually voting on anything. We're just asking for information and a presentation. So all the rest of our roots can see the information. So we all can see all the trees because all the roots are connected. I love that analogy. I really love it, especially for our committee. We're all connected
Ethan,
and we all need to
Teresa-
see, we
Teresa,
all
I'm
need to
gonna-
see, right? We all
Teresa,
need
I'm
to
gonna
see.
allow Ethan to give some input.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Ethan, go
recognizing
ahead.
me. Yeah, as a committee,
Committee, everyone here meets once a month. And the only way that the board knows about issues really is when the committee agrees on some sort of resolution or on some sort of request to bring to the entire board's attention.
What are you gonna eat?
I think it's in our interest and in the board's interest and other committees' interests for us to get votes out,
You can
get
call it.
resolutions out, so that we can bring things to their attention. Because the information might be out there, it's still on us to consume it and to make use of it, and to at least let our intentions be known by getting completed votes and resolutions out there. That's all from me.
Okay, so pretty much, that sums up exactly what I'm saying. We need to get more information so that we can do so. This is our first meeting starting, September. So we need to get more information on what's going on and who's doing what and who's supposed to be doing what before we can, just, say this is what we want to do. We are just a small aspect of this board, a small committee of this board. So, in all, fairness, we want to be able to say, okay, this is what we know about a specific topic that's going on. And right now, I don't think we are there. I mean, for me, I am not there.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I made a motion, I got a second, and so let's put it to a vote. That's how Robert's Rules of Orders goes. So let's put it to a vote.
Okay, so there was a motion made. Can you repeat your motion, Ms. Westerdahl?
Okay, motion for a resolution for New York State and Empire State Development for a town hall presentation on Vital Brooklyn to Community Board 9.
Okay, so again, I will abstain from voting until I have more information on this specific topic. I can't speak for anyone else. Bishop, you're on, you can represent yourself.
Can you hear me? Something happened with my computer.
No, go ahead, can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm also abstaining from it.
Okay, well, I believe the way to get the more information is to have a presentation. So I'm gonna vote yes. I want a presentation for for the whole board and our entire community that they want, according to Rod and Jay and what I've read. So I want everybody to have the information, all the information, and going forward as soon as possible. So yes, I'm voting yes. Thank you.
Mr. Herbert, you're the other person because, I mean, there's two people that's abstaining and so you're the other person. So this is pretty much not gonna go anywhere this time. So,
Yeah, I
I
can
mean,
see.
you can speak for yourself.
Well, I would like to have a presentation as well as the rest of the community. They are buzzing for it. Like I said, it's a very contentious topic now. The canceling the last meeting did not go well with everybody, and I think a presentation would be the right thing. So I say I vote yes for the presentation.
So I think it passes then if it's 50%, right?
Isn't it 50 plus 1?
Yeah, majority has to be above 50, so
Yeah.
I don't think it passes
Yeah.
right now.
So oh wow, the community is going to be very disappointed.
Okay, so until we get, so this, motion doesn't pass. So again, until we have more information, we can move forward.
Right, I will follow up and get information.
And I
in
would
the
appreciate
meantime.
that, Mr. Herbert. Hopefully
Yes.
by our next meeting, or even before that, Mr. Cunningham office will reach out to you guys. And so that we can have more information on this.
Understood. I'll get
Yes,
working on
thank
that.
you. So as we move forward, is there any new business?
Well, I still didn't get a chance to talk about the small business, particularly our motion for the 5G. Remember that? For the moratorium on the 5G towers that we passed.
Okay, do you have any
Um,
update to provide, Ms. Westerdahl?
Well, I know that and
Because I have
Khalid-
not received
Khalid,
anything.
well, Khalid can let us know. I haven't heard anything from Dante or Khalid, but I did see Rita, Joseph, I did see Yvette Clark, I did
Khalid,
see
do you have
Crystal.
any information on the
Can I
5G, any
finish
update?
talking? I was talking, please. Can I finish? Thank you.
Okay,
I
go
was
ahead.
giving a hello. So as I was saying, I did take the resolution for a moratorium that the board passed to Rita, Joseph, Yvette Clark, and Crystal Hudson's office. And none of them said that they had received it or seen it. But I presented it to them and gave it to them personally and discussed it with them and let them know. So they do have that now. I did that over the summer. So I wanted to let you know that those representatives do have it for sure. So I think and they are aware of the community's disgruntlement with the 5G towers and how that all happened. You could see it on the website if anybody
Okay, thank you. Khalid,
listening,
did you note that in your notes?
anybody listening who wants to see the resolution for the moratorium, it's available on CB9's website. So you could find that there. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're
Yes,
gonna move along. Is there any new business?
Oh, Debbie, I was gonna answer your.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Khalid.
so
Go
in
ahead.
terms of, I just have two questions. When, Teresa, when did you reach out to those elected officials?
Over the summer, I'm not sure exact date.
Over the summer though?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then I'll have to refer to the, Dante and the chairman in terms of what happened after it, but, from our end, it was passed along. Disseminated the best way we could, so, I'm gonna follow up with their offices as well as Dante to,
Well, I'd
get
be
more information on that.
interested in what emails they were sent to. I saw that somebody done like one of those FOIL requests, and the emails that they were sent to wasn't on the FOIL request, if I'm remembering right. I saw.
I have no
something.
information on FOIL requests, but I'm talking towards the
Yeah, I don't know
moratorium,
what
the
email.
resolution. So
just a
in
Ms.
terms of the
little-
Westerdahl, can you
resolution,
follow
it
up with
was
the board
sent.
directly on that, please? I'd like to continue
Thank
with
you.
my meeting. Thank you.
Well, just this.
Khalid, can you follow up,
This
please?
is
Thank
this is
you.
Will
relevant.
do.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is
hello,
new
I was-
business. Ms. Westerdahl, can I finish
can I-
sharing
can
this
I
meeting?
just
Thank you.
finish?
I've given you a fair opportunity to speak. I'd like to move on with my new business. Does anyone have any new business to share?
Well, I have still some old business about the tree situation in my neighborhood and
Ms.
the
Westerdahl, can you
development.
provide the community board with that information as you were, asked to do in the past? Just refer the information to them so that they can follow up with it. Okay.
Thank you,
so
Debbie, for your
did you
kindness. I
receive-
really
Did you
appreciate.
receive?
I really
Khalid, did you
appreciate.
receive any
Thank
complaints
you.
about any trees from Ms. Westerdahl recently?
Not recently, but here's emails in the past from Ms. Westerdahl.
Are they
I'll have
up
to
to
go.
date?
I believe so. I'll have to follow up, but yeah,
Okay.
the trees were taken into account. We do have emails of that, yes.
Okay, so does anyone have any new business? So Khalid will follow up on that for us. Is there any new business?
I do. I have some new business. If I may speak, Ms. Timothy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so on a different topic, the first of the year, there was on environmental justice, they increased the rights of disadvantaged communities for environmental justice. On the federal level, President Biden signed signed something in like April or in April, and on the first of the year, on the New York State level, Governor Hochul signed something for environmental justice, where there's increased scrutiny. Like you have to do more studies. So there's a whole lot more, and I say this to the Environmental Committee, there's a whole lot more. Governor Hochul signed this January 1st, 2023. It's increased environmental justice. It doesn't affect everybody, but certain neighborhoods which are disadvantaged are affected, which are, get more rights, more scrutiny when it comes to disadvantaged neighborhoods. So if this committee could maybe tell us, what does environmental justice mean? And the reason why it's relevant is because these Vital Brooklyn projects happen in a TRIE neighborhood. A TRIE neighborhood is like, it's like task force. I forget the exact explanation of it, but New York City has 33 neighborhoods that are disadvantaged neighborhoods, okay? East Flatbush is considered to be a disadvantaged neighborhood, right? You combine the fact that East Flatbush is a TRIE neighborhood, and I believe there may be something with it where disadvantaged, I don't know the exact definition of it, if it includes something with regard to minorities, but it refers to disadvantaged. On the environmental side, the environmental justice says that if it's a disadvantaged community, we're going to give a whole lot more scrutiny, a whole lot more rights. That does relate to the Vital Brooklyn in terms of studies and everything else. So I ask, what does environmental justice mean? And I think the Environmental Protection Committee can tell us what it means and whether you guys have to do a whole lot more, because the project is located in East Flatbush and there's certain rights that they're entitled to, and they all increased as of the first of the year on the New York State side and on the federal side. So maybe you could do that. And also, there's also on the environmental aspect, there's a racial impact study. Jumaane Williams had this passed, some sort of racial impact study. When there's a new development, how does this affect minorities in the area? So on the environmental side, that's this whole racial impact study includes like an environmental mapping thing and everything else. And no one knows about like how to do it and everything like that. It's new. It's a racial impact. It's an environmental impact tool that New York City has. New York City came out with it just this year, but there's like a mapper and everything. Maybe there could be some help from the city to bring it in. And I know somebody is going to probably say, well, it's a New York State project. So just to tell you, they're using New York City environmental law in this whole project. They're relying upon SECRA, SECRA for this project, which is the city environmental. So what does environmental justice mean? What is this new racial impact study that Jumaane Williams had, where there's a tool, he created it. It's a law, it's a New York City law. What does this mean? And what are the responsibilities of this committee to the people of the neighborhood? Many who are 50-year residents, have a lot of roots in the community. The Reverend Bishop spoke about roots. A lot of people have some strong roots in the community for over 40 and 50 years. And, we may have to give information quicker because of the environmental justice laws. It's something that we can't do. And as a former housing committee member, I don't mind telling you that all these there were comment periods and everything else. The board's responsibility, the board gave in no comments, didn't do anything in terms of comments on this project, all the 5 Vital Brooklyn projects. I wrote comments for all of them, okay? I'm not saying you did anything wrong, Ms. Timothy, you're not part of it because we didn't discuss it, but the board has a responsibility to do comments, no comments for anything. So I would just ask that if this committee—
Did you bring that to the board, Mr. Sorit?
Well, 5 of the 10 housing meetings were canceled, okay? And
Did you bring it to the board in writing? Did you send anything to the board in writing?
That they were canceled? The
Not
answer
that
is
the information that you're speaking to.
they know, the housing committee knew about it. They knew about all this
Board
stuff.
office, the board office, because you
But
know,
you-
you guys are saying that the housing
no, well-
committee had no meetings.
Well, that's the district office. I can't ask the district staff to complain about what the housing committee is doing. You could speak to Fred.
Well,
and
there
you
is
could
a
ask,
chair, there is a chair
right, and okay,
of
I
the
will
board.
ask, yes, and I will ask Fred, when he spoke to the housing chair, and when she says, I'm canceling the meeting, why didn't Fred then take up the meeting and say, I'm gonna chair it, just like he did the transportation? I didn't,
Okay,
maybe you
Mr.
could ask.
Sorit, I'm not
Yeah.
going to, you know,
Okay.
entertain that discussion
course.
here.
Thank you very,
You
thank you
know,
very
I
much.
understand that you're trying to get information to the board through this committee, and that's not a good way of doing so. And, you know, I would like to, you know, move on with my committee meeting. Okay,
Okay,
if there is
thank you.
something specific that you know, feel as though the board as a whole needs to look into, I think that you should direct that to the chair and allow him to make a decision on, you know, how to
Re- re-
best
re-
move forward on
Right,
that.
respectfully,
Okay.
it comes from a
mean,
committee. It comes from a
And
committee.
I
It comes from
appreciate,
the
you
committee,
know,
not the
the
public. The
input
committee,
that you, I'm not going to go back and forth with you on
Okay,
this, okay?
thank you for your
Thank
time,
you,
miss.
and, you know, I appreciate you joining our meeting and giving input. Do we have any other new business that we would like to share on this committee? If
I
not-
do. Anybody else?
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Westerdahl. You have a few minutes.
Well,
to do-
a couple of things, a few things. One is that I noticed that we have no community resident members on our committee, on our environmental protection committee. And I noticed that all the other committees do have that, and that the chairs can appoint community members. So
Would you like to
I
bring
would
that, take that to the chair and ask him what was the reason for that?
no,
Because
no,
I
no,
don't know. I don't have any input.
Okay, well, I think what I'm saying is that Debbie, you could appoint some people, and we do some kind of outreach to get more people involved in our committee. It would be great if you could do that, and I'll help you. But I would just like to ask everybody on all of us are board members that are on this committee at this time. So I would like to do some outreach. Maybe we could, I know last time we never did it, but we did discuss doing like a walk around to the various sites to examine issues, like one ongoing environmental issue that my neighbors are really concerned about, that is like this garbage can that's was on the corner of Sullivan and Rogers. It took me 6 months to get that back on our corner and it's gone again. They took it away again. They took it away again for the parade. And
Did
the
you
other
bring it
kid
up
came
to
back.
did you bring it up? Did you bring it up to the community board to let them know that the garbage
Well,
can is
you
no
know,
thing?
I was giving it a few more days, and yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. I was giving it a few
Okay.
more days to see if it might come back. And honestly, how I got it back last time was I got the phone number for the sanitation director in our neighborhood, and I
Mhm.
contacted him directly, and they found it in another neighborhood in community board 8 or something. Apparently it took months, but it really affects the trash in my neighborhood. So I'm just saying that, you know, that was just one area that things that we were going to look at. Do you remember? We were going to look at like the developments, different things that affect the environment. We were going to do a little tour. I would like to do that, right? I would like to, like we never did it last time. So let's make a date right now for a walk around together.
Ms. Westerdahl,
I
can we
would
can
love
you
to
come
do
up
that.
with some? Can you come up with some dates for our next meeting?
Let's
so that we can
schedule a
talk
date.
about
Can
that?
we schedule
And
a
what
date
would
right
be-
now?
And what would be the best times for people to do a tour? That would be helpful, because I know everyone would not be able to do it at the same time, so that will be helpful in doing so.
So let's
Um,
tentatively pick some dates, like we're all here now, so would you like to do it in an evening, Saturday? Like what days work for people? Is there any days that work for people? We can invite the whole board.
what I will do is make a list of these things and we can talk about it at our next meeting. Okay, so the tour and the outreach I have here. Khalid, can you just add those 2 items to?
Yes,
Okay, so we
Yeah,
can talk about that.
we could probably do it at the
and
same
hopefully-
time. I mean, remember when we did that cleanup, Debbie? I love
Yes.
that. If we could
Okay, so
do like,
we can we can try to do another cleanup or one or more before it gets too cold.
yeah,
So we
walk
can add
around, the
that.
cleanup.
We can add that as well on there, Khalid, and we can talk about that at the next meeting.
Also, I know I went to some parks meetings and, you know, there was the fair this year that didn't go so well, but it was suggested that we do a little get-togethers in various smaller parks in CB9 district and have mini events like poetry readings, a little band, maybe hand out some seeds, like anything like that. Would you all be interested in doing a get together in a park? Like maybe Mark and Jason is my favorite underserved park, or maybe, you know, we very rarely do events in the southern part of our CB9 where I think Mr. Herbert lives. So if you know of a park that we could have a little gathering in, I mean, that was a suggestion, you know, instead of like one big fair, have a bunch of littler things. Is anybody interested in that? Just a suggestion. I would like to, you know,
Teresa, we will add that to our list and talk about it more at the next meeting. That would be good, if we can focus on all those things at the next meeting.
okay, anybody
that
else have
way-
any ideas for fun
Does
stuff?
anyone else have any additional ideas? And we can, talk about that as well.
There were some community members that I've spoken with, they're interested in becoming resident board members, so I'll reach out to them again and see if they are
Okay.
still interested.
Okay, and then we can, pass the information on to the, community board office.
Okay,
Oh, I see some new
Okay.
people in the meeting. Alexandra Cameroon, Deborah Fuchong. Hi,
Alexandra and, Deborah. You guys want to introduce yourselves or you just? Okay, so we're gonna move on with the meeting. So pretty much, I kind of did a little research on, you know, ideas and information that can be helpful in our role as the Environmental Protection Committee. I hope everyone had an opportunity to read through that. And hopefully, you know, we can include those particular ideas in our meetings, upcoming meetings. You know, in terms of purpose, preparation, process, and participation, which is a key. We had a problem last meetings or last calendar of meetings, and you know, which we had we weren't able to do much because, you know, because of participation. So hopefully, you know, this time we can get some things done or have some good discussions on things that we would like to see happen, and focus on things that we would like to see happen in the community and be more involved and better equipped to do so. So if anyone has any additional information on, how to better do so, we can always talk about it. As we move forward, I think it's a good, opportunity to, give as much, good information and good discussions, have good discussions and topics and, stuff like that, that we can, discuss and come up with good ideas and, be able to make a difference in, the way things were done in the past and how they are done in the future. As a whole, we need to, for me, I think we need to, all be, involved and get information as we should. I think that information is not always forthcoming. And when we get it, it's already, a done deal and, we can't give much input. I know sometimes, things can be rather, crazy in terms of how it's done and how to move it forward. But, I think that if we have good ideas and, as a board, we should be able to work together to get, things done. And, for the community, because this is our purpose. And that is all I have to say right now. I don't know if anyone else has any information that they would like to add to, the way things are done and how, better to serve the community. But I think if we're all on the same page, we can do more. And that is my, goal. Does anyone have any other information to share? Khalid, do you have any information from the board office to share with us?
No, I did want to share about the brown compost bins. The
Yeah.
link is
Oh,
up.
yes.
Yeah, the link is up on the DSNY website. And that's the deadline for that is October 13th. So if anybody's
Yeah, I know that.
interested in
I
that,
noticed some of the residents on my block, they already have them.
yeah, so if anybody, is interested in getting one, please contact the board office.
Okay, so that's good. So I think, we had a nice little discussion, and at this point, I will move to adjourn this meeting. It is
Oh,
now
I see
8:29.
I see somebody raising their hand. Alicia?
I don't see anyone raising their hands.
Oh,
So it is
I
now
see Alicia came
8:29.
in.
I
Wait,
will move to adjourn
We
this
just
meeting.
have, Alicia came in.
Okay, Ms. Boyd, you have a few minutes to make your comments, before we adjourn. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry I missed the meeting. I do apologize about coming in so late. I know this is the first meeting, and in this first meeting, you are supposed to be kind of discussing where you're going to go. And one of the issues that we're having is along the front of what's happening to the proposed rezoning that's happening along the Brooklyn Botanic Gardens and the environmental impact the negative environmental impact that might be having. And I wanted to find out, will you be focusing on the environmental consequences of having such a massive development that would impact an environmentally sensitive ecosystem? Will you be focusing on that during this time?
I will inquire, about this and, to get more information, and, take it from there.
I inquire to who and when, if you
From the
don't mind.
board office, I'm sure the board office, received information if it's out there.
Well, yes, I mean, it is a rezoning. There was already a scoping hearing where the community board was supposed to chime in on the environmental impacts, and that didn't happen.
It didn't happen?
Well, the
When was
community
that
board did
supposed to
not,
happen?
it happened already. It happened in July, and the community board did not speak on the environmental impacts, but I do apologize about that. Let me just stop that for a minute. No. Okay.
Okay, Khalid, are you aware of that?
I'll have to refer to the chair about that.
Okay,
Oh, well, I don't understand why he would have to refer. I mean, clearly, the rezoning, there is a rezoning proposal that has already been placed along for the Spice Factory. I mean, it's in the paper. If you guys don't know about it, shame on you. It is in your community. And it will impact negatively the Parks Department. I mean, the Brooklyn Botanic Gardens have already come out and say that it will have a detrimental environmental impact, negative impact on their space. And again, I'm just asking if you guys are going to take that up and review that.
I will inquire further to get more
Mhm.
information on
Okay.
what's, at the board office and, discuss it with the committee if there is a need to do so.
And also, there's the
Uh-huh.
5G issue that again is on the table. That hasn't, is still being played out. And I'm wondering, are you guys going to be looking at that a little bit closer again? I know you did a great resolution, against it, but there's other things that are happening around the 5G tower that might need the Environmental Protection Committee to be reviewing that.
Okay, I thus far, I have not heard anything about the information that was sent from the board office. We can inquire about that as well. And
What do you mean?
find out where
I'm
that
sorry,
is.
I'm a little confused about that statement, information.
You mentioned 5G and the current status.
Right.
What I said to you was that from what was sent that came out of our committee, I have not heard anything further.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I will follow up as we did earlier in the meeting. And
Mhm.
Khalid said that he would, find out whether anything came in, but I have not heard anything. So I would definitely inquire on those two items that you mentioned.
And then there's one last thing
Yeah.
that I was wondering. There is some text amendments that are coming down in which that might have some environmental impacts where they are merging light manufacturing with commercial and then putting commercial into residential into residential apartments. So that means is that if you live in a residential building, you could have a light manufacturing business in your building, and that might have some environmental consequences for the people who live in that type of building, to have that type of business there, because light manufacturing is exactly that. It's a manufacturing business now being proposed inside of a residential apartment building. So I also wanted to find out, will the Environmental Impact Committee be addressing that? These text amendments are coming up. There is a hearing on it next Tuesday.
Did you bring that up to any other committees?
Well, I'm bringing it up to the Environmental Committee. I know the Land Use Committee is, a lot of the members will be attending that hearing next Tuesday. It is being performed by the Department of City Planning, in which they will be discussing these text amendments. I do suggest, I can just suggest that the members here of the Environmental Committee consider attending that meeting. The ULIT committee was changed so that it would afford people the opportunity to be able to attend that meeting. And because there can be some negative environmental consequences when you just think about it, just, intuitively, if you're putting light manufacturing inside of a residential building, it could have some negative impacts on the residents in that building and in the community. So I would like to offer that people consider attending DCP. I believe, hopefully that this information should be readily available at CB9. They should have a link. And I will be asking CB9, who's here representing CB9?
Khalid is on the meeting.
Yeah,
Khalid,
I'm here,
Khalid.
Khalid Jamal.
Well, can you please ask Dante and Fred to be able to send out an email about the text amendments meeting that's happening next Tuesday to the community, so that the
I will
community-
speak to them about your comment. Yes, your comment. Yes.
Thank
Oh.
you. So that, and also if you could send that to the community board members as well as to the community, so they can have an opportunity to attend that meeting, so they understand what the text amendments are being proposed. And of course, environmental protection, hopefully some members from this committee might attend that so that they can understand what might be some negative impacts on the community.
Whoa.
got-
That's
Okay,
next
thank you.
Tuesday?
Department of City
That's
Planning
next-
next Tuesday.
It's next
Yeah.
Tuesday at
And
7
what
o'clock.
time is that meeting?
7 o'clock. It's a Zoom. You can go on Zoom, you can register. There is a link.
That'll be
Um,
September 12th, right?
Right. And Debbie, if you want me to, I can send you a
No,
link.
it's okay. Well, you can just send the information to the board office.
Well, the board should
Khalid-
have it.
Okay, so Khalid, well, then you ask Khalid to send it out to the board members, so.
Well,
Can you
Okay, so
send-
I will
What
take
I'll
this.
do, this is what I'll do. This is what I will do. Any board members that I have their email, I will be sending it out to them because, you know, you're a community board member. This is information. You can attend the meeting or you don't have to attend the meeting, but I will send it out. And then also ask CB9 to send it out as well, so that this
Oh,
information is
okay.
readily available.
Yeah, I'd like
Okay,
that information, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will do that. Thank you. So those are the three things that I'm asking. Will you be again discussing what you, well, you know, there's also October where you could also discuss what you plan on working on, but I hopefully that the environmental committee would think about working on one or all of these issues.
Okay, thank you for that information, and Khalid,
Yes.
we'll
And
talk
again,
about it.
I do apologize about being so late. So I see some people who are the board, who are the members of this committee? If I
We
might
have
ask.
4 members. It's myself,
Uh-huh.
Rod Herbert,
Bod,
Teresa Westerdahl, and
Tara.
Bishop Gonzalez.
Oh, Miss Gonzalez, is she up here? I don't see her.
She's here.
Oh, Bishop, oh, yes, got it. Hi, I know I don't normally see her, so I just wanted to say hi.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
for the input. It's now 8:38. I will move
Okay,
to adjourn this
thank you.
meeting. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone, and look forward
Hi,
to
Miss Ward.
having some
We
more.
Hi, how
didn't
you doing?
How's
We
the
didn't approve the
grandchildren?
minutes.
Have
Don't
a
we
good-
have to approve the minutes
How
from
the
the last meeting?
grandchildren?
They're fine.
Debbie.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking about my grandchildren.
Debbie, we
So
forgot
important
to
to me.
approve sorry, we forgot to approve the minutes from the last meeting. We got to do that.
We did that along with the agenda item and the on item number 3.
I don't
Yeah.
remember anybody, I don't remember that. We did it? Are you sure? Did we do it, Khalid?
Ms. Westerdahl, it is 8:39. I am moving to adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everyone, for attending the meeting, and I look forward to speaking with you guys next month meeting. Have a good night. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye,
Good night.
everyone.
Bye.
See
Good
you
night.
soon.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good night,
Yes.
everyone.